HTML. We've talked about HTML already. We've talked about Markdown already. And this is one of my first videos on the road, so here we are right next to the highway, so there's going to be traffic. The video is really quick, and somebody mentioned that you really don't need to write very much HTML in 2024, and I just want to comment on that. That's true, you don't. In fact, many ways, HTML has gone the way of something called PostScript. So if you don't know what PostScript is the language that PDF is derived from. So if you've ever opened a PDF and you've seen a PDF is a bunch of instructions about how to do the thing. Nobody writes PostScript anymore, but there was a time when people did write PostScript. It could be argued that people these days don't write a lot of HTML. Even web developers don't write a lot of HTML. There's so many other frameworks that generate HTML that there's not a lot of it, right? There is, though. There is still, I mean, the high-end web developers do spend a lot of time creating widgets and components and things like that to do with HTML. So they will definitely need to learn it. But the reason I'm making this video is to just say, when it comes to learning HTML, you really only need to learn how to read HTML so you can manipulate that. Now that is not true for CSS. For CSS, you're going to be regularly styling things such as your resume that we're going to write, and you're going to need to know how to change the styles of CSS. And I mean, if for no other reason than when you go to a web page, let's say you go to any web page, you might want to go to like skillstack.io, and you might want to inspect element, and you want to see how to do these things. And I showed you already how you can hack by changing password fields into text fields and stuff like that. So being able to read the HTML that's over here, I mean, a lot of this div soup, if you ever had to really actually write it, it'd be insane, right? Most of it's all written by whatever it is that has rendered that HTML. So don't worry about freaking out because you can't make a web page from scratch using HTML. You're going to use something like Pandoc or some other static site generator or some other tool to generate the HTML. But you do still need to know what is in the HTML, and that's why the videos about the HTML stuff are so quick and fleeting, and they just talk about what they are so that you can understand it just by looking at it. It's kind of the same with assembly, right? You don't necessarily need to learn assembly because you're going to use it. You're going to need to learn assembly because you want to be able to read it. Same with C. You might not write C, but you might want to understand S traces and things like that when you're running against the process. And those are all written in C. So there are a lot of languages that are sort of read-only or read-ish languages, and you don't necessarily need to write in them. You do, however, need to know how to write in Markdown. That is mandatory. Everybody requires it. And people keep arguing with me about that, and I'm like, I don't want to be on your team because you're going to be the one who doesn't know how to write documentation and then say, I don't know how to write Markdown, so guess I can't write the documentation because nobody wants to write the docs, right? Don't be that guy. Bye.